Did you finish the Jim Beam?
No, right there.
Garson Saw's finally on the goddamn shelf. It only took me 12 years. Devil's River's up here, huh? You know? We're out of room, dude.
We're out of room.
What are we going to do now?
No idea.
I don't either. Well, all right, let's jib jabber and yog jogger and crush this episode. Am I still too loud? Am I loud today? God damn it.
You're just heated.
I am heated. Work sucks. I know.
This is all gonna be in it, so just keep it going.
All right.
So welcome back, everybody, to the Buffalo Happy Hour podcast. Mike, what's going on?
What's up, dude?
What's going on? Everything going all right?
Yeah, everything's fine. Everything's fine. I'm buried up to my eyes in work, so it's pretty cool. I went to Home Depot the other day, tried to go there for certain things, didn't happen. I got distracted. I had a mask in front of my face, and I don't know, just didn't get what I needed. So that was a fun trip.
Yeah.
I grabbed the potting soil for Colleen, though. So
got to make the wife happy.
She wanted her goddamn potting soil. So picked that up. Then I forgot my rubber mulch. I was going to add a little mulch, and then forgot. So that was cool. And then the paint that I wanted for the basement wasn't on the shelf. So that was also cool. And then picked up some other supplies, and I also forgot to measure the PVC pipe coming out of my house for my sump pump, so I couldn't buy the additional pieces of PVC that I needed to then rerun it away from my house. So that's cool. So I jobbed it with some gutter runoff flex pipe, and I'll make it work until I get the measurement, which I now have.
Perfect.
1 3/4 inches.
There you go.
So
if anybody has any 1 3/4 PVC pipe, send it over to your way.
Yeah.
Could be a birthday present.
Yeah. Could be a birthday present.
You're the big 28.
What are you?
28.
See?
Crushing it. It was your birthday the other day.
It was
17th,
my birthday.
Yesterday.
It was. I made a steak. Colleen made me a cake, and now I don't know what I'm going to do with all this friggin' cake. So I didn't think that through.
This is the big year for you, though.
Big year. It's my number.
Yeah.
So hopefully it all works out. Hopefully I can get married. Hopefully I can go to Greece. Who knows? Probably not.
Probably not.
So, we'll just, we'll see what happens in this COVID world.
What was the highlight of your birthday weekend?
Seeing you.
Aww.
So let's see. Having people over was a good time. That was on Saturday. It was light. There was 10 people total. Relax. Let's see. So we had people over, had a ton of food. And then Sunday we took Sam to a state park, let him run around with a bunch of other doggos. That was a good time. We've never been there before.
Yeah.
Drove past it every day.
It looked
never
nice.
went. You should go. Bring Cleo.
We went to the waterfront that same day to take Cleo for a walk.
I saw that, dude.
Yeah, we should have coordinated a little bit better.
I know, seriously.
They still need to be best friends.
I know.
But
I don't know why we don't have consistent play dates.
I don't know either. Cleo's not very social, so she'll just try to jump all over the other dog.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because
we don't socialize her enough. But anyway, what else happened? Sorry, cut you off there.
No, you're fine. So we did that. Then we went to Hartman's, had a drink or two. Yeah, two. She got what was the name of that cocktail? What she's having? Something like that?
Yeah.
The vodka cocktail. So
yep.
She had two of those. I had a bourbon slushy. Really good. And then I had a single neat rye. Very excited about that. Crushed it.
Nice.
Then we went to the place, and it was really quiet. So that was nice.
The place?
Yeah. It's on Lexington and Ashland.
Oh, okay. Never heard of it. What
really?
is it? Yeah.
Super nice restaurant. So we went there, had mac and cheese with bacon in it.
Ooh.
And then we split a pear salad. And then I had a Negroni. And she had this lemon citrus, more lemon vodka spritzer seltzer cocktail thing. It was just too much, man. Yep. It was way too tardy. Not for me. So I just enjoyed my Negroni. Then we went home, hung out. We watched Inside Job with Denzel Washington. Have you seen that?
No.
Good movie.
Yeah.
Good movie. It was about a bank heist. And then...
What's your favorite bank heist movie? Ooh. There's a lot of them, dude.
Inside Man or Inside Job, whatever the one with Denzel, whatever that movie is with Denzel.
The one that you just watched?
Yeah.
That's your favorite?
It's up there.
Wow.
Yeah, it's super good. because it's kind of really thought out, like law-abiding citizen.
I
So I
love
like that.
movie.
Yeah,
The Town is on Netflix, and I love The Town. That's such a good movie.
It is
and
a good
then
movie.
You can't. I mean, it's not really bank heist per se. I mean, it revolves around a bank heist, but The Italian Job.
that's
You just
a good
gotta
one,
love
too.
that movie.
Yeah,
It's a classic.
100%. They made Mini Coopes cool,
Oh yeah,
which is wild.
they're still cool to me, even though that they're not, but they kind of are. But
mean, you got
it's
that
something
Mini
that
Coupe
I,
S.
it's something that I've always wanted to drive, but I don't know if I could ever own one. First of all, I'm 6'3". I don't know if I could fit in a Mini Coupe.
True. Very
And
true.
I just feel weird. And I would want, like, if I was going to drive a Mini Coupe, I would want, like, the British flag on the mirrors, too. But then you just can't do that.
Not in this country.
That stopped happening in 1776.
Yes.
But, yeah, so I've always wanted one, but that's my favorite heist movie.
Good deal.
It's a good one.
We marathoned a TV show over the weekend with Zac Efron. His
Oh,
new
did
one,
you?
Down to Earth.
Was it good?
Marathoned it.
So, yes.
100%. Super good.
He's got that dad bod going in there, right?
No.
No?
Not at all. Nope.
Isn't that the thing that everyone's saying, is that he's not dad bod, he's daddy?
That doesn't make any sense. He literally looks incredible in that show.
Here we go. First beep. What are we drinking today, Mike?
A India Pale Ale, aka IPA from Resurgence.
And why are we doing this for Resurgence?
Because they're going to be on the show next week.
Oh,
Dude.
yeah. So by the time that this clip releases, that next Friday, hopefully, we did have a snag up where we had to reschedule. But hopefully this Friday, when you're hearing this episode last Friday, they'll be on. So we'll be talking with Ben from Resurgence, and he'll be giving us the whole history. That's why we're not going to the history with this. We'll let him do the talking. Somebody who knows much more than we do.
Correct.
But yeah, so if you haven't listened to that, go back and listen to it. I'm assuming it's going to be a great interview. Resurgence is one of the biggest breweries in the Buffalo area, so we're pumped for it. And their beer is always just super consistent.
Yes.
And it's always good to crack open a cold one for the boys.
You can say that again. This is 7.2%.
You can always crack open a cold one for the boys.
Yeah. So, you would. So this is 7.2%.
Jesus.
Everybody's heard of Resurgence. Little fun fact to dive into it before we release too much info is the name Resurgence comes from them trying to generate a resurgence in Buffalo, New York. So they're trying to bring back everything into the city. Light, money, pride, community, belonging, all those things. So,
Which they're doing.
yeah, 1,000%. I mean, they pretty much took over by storm.
Yeah.
And then they moved from their original distillery location to Chicago Street next to Hartman's, and their new spot is just massive. So it's cool.
That whole area is sweet. I mean, you were just saying that you were there for your birthday.
Yeah.
That whole area, and the fact that they can just shut down the street to have this summer street party basically all summer long is one of the coolest ideas I've ever seen.
Do you know the legality behind that?
Yeah, so I was talking to Justin on that when I went the other day. My window's broken up there, so that's pretty sweet. It's tilted a little bit, and that just caught my eye because I have severe OCD. Anyway, so I was talking to Justin when I went there the other day, and he had to have the town come down, like the mayor and everybody from like the town authority, throughway authority, and everything.
Byron?
Yeah, come down and do like an assessment on what it would entail to make sure that it's not a huge inconvenience, because really where they are, it's like a triangle, right? So the street that they're on is basically just a pass through of that triangle. So if you needed to get to the other side of the street, it's just a simple like 2-second detour to do that. So I'm sure that played into it as well, but they had to get a permit to drink on the street, and basically they roped the entire street off where their building is, have all these benches 6 feet apart because of COVID, and it's just like a street party now. It's the coolest thing in the world.
It should be permanent.
Yeah, it should. And I think that they were talking about that because when I was talking to Justin, and we can talk to Ben about it too because they're part of it as well, it was an undertaking to get it done the first time, but I'm sure next year if they wanted to apply for the same permit, they might have to go through the same type of paperwork and procedures to get it approved, but the initial assessment of it is going to be there, and it always will be there. It's not like there's going to be new businesses there next year, right now at least. So it's something that I think that they should do every single year. It's sweet.
I think it's safer too.
Yeah.
Because you don't have cars whipping down Chicago Street basically just forming the hypotenuse of a triangle.
Yeah.
And then people walking back and forth from parking lots and everything else. Like, yeah, there's a sidewalk, but people jaywalked.
Mm-hmm.
So eliminating that safety aspect, I think, would be huge.
Yeah, and you're realistically like taking the inconvenience of driving down that street is one issue, but it's really not that big of an inconvenience. And then they're giving up like about, what would you say, maybe 30 parking spots on both sides of the street. So like 30 total parking spots, which they have a parking lot there anyway.
That's massive.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I don't think that they need it per se. So it will be interesting to see if they continue doing it next year. I think it's a hit. They both love it. I know that Justin was telling me how much he loved having that space there. And they're making use of it too. They're having bands come out and play, which I don't know if they could necessarily do in normal time inside the distillery itself. And Justin is having his whiskey talk this Saturday outside as well.
Nice.
So it's this cool event space that they turned this into, that the city let them. So if you haven't gone to Hartman's or Resurgence down on Chicago Street, definitely go check it out, because they've made the best out of the situation that everybody's in right now.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
So back to Zac Efron not having a dad bod.
Dude, maybe it's a different movie that people are referencing, but I thought it was that one where they're like, he doesn't have that chiseled six pack anymore.
He does in Down to Earth, which is a TV show. It's 8 episodes in the first season. But essentially, Down to Earth, I think this whole thing started when he went on Bear Grylls' new TV show, and he was talking to Bear Grylls about how he's kind of sick of being famous. He's sick of the whole Hollywood scene. He's not okay with where his mental state was and is, because it basically is, it boils down to his family's like really down to earth, from what I gather from him talking about it. Like, his dad works in a nuclear power plant, and he became famous at a young age just because he was able to sing and dance. And then he got other roles because if he thinks about something that's emotional, then he can just cry.
Damn.
So that gave him an edge compared to somebody else. But he always goes back to the first point of, I haven't done anything to society, for society, or in general. Like, all I've done is just kind of perform for people, but I've never really like done anything. And it bothers him because he doesn't feel like he's really brought any value specifically to the country at all. And he doesn't think Hollywood is conducive for good mental health long term, and he wants out of it, which is, he's a bro. Like, there's no other way to say it. Like, he's just a really good dude. And Clint Eastwood's son's the same way. So, from what I gathered, listening to him talk about everything and everything, but his show Down to Earth is, he links up with a guy that he found on a podcast who's all about superfoods, whole foods. He's a vegan, and he's just this dude who's like an absolute unit. And he's older. He's like 40s from what I didn't look him up, but they basically just became friends. And then now, because of this show, they travel to all different cities, all different countries and parts of the world, and then learn about certain aspects. So in Iceland, they go to Iceland and learn about renewable energy. They go to Paris to learn about how they conduct their water for everybody. They went to Costa Rica to learn about like a different community and education and how they teach kids. And there's no, like, in that school, there's no specific like grade breakup where you're now in second grade, you're now in third grade. It's just like based on age. Like, if you're this old, you're kind of like in this group. And then there's no homework and there's no tests. And then their curiosity is how they learn something. So they just go there and ask questions.
Oh, okay.
And then that's it. So everything that they have, like, they grow. So their food is grown on site, and then they just eat from their own land. It's like this crazy community thing that they do. And then he goes to Italy, and then it wasn't Italy, it was Sardinia, and learns about longevity and then why people there live so long. And he just goes there and asks questions. He never pulls out his phone. He never like sits there and gets caught like he's just always in the moment. And then he's just like super present with everything he does. Sure. And then he comes back and he just asks questions about the US, like, why doesn't the US just have certain things? And like, he's just now trying to use his platform to make our country better.
Sure. With
just simple questions, like, why can't we just do something that's already being done somewhere else? And then I brought it up to a coworker today because we had to drive all the way out to the middle of nowhere. And I go, in Paris, they don't have chlorine in their water at all. They use ozone, and then they use UV lights. And then my coworker turned around, and he's older. He's like in his 50s. And he goes, you know how much chlorine we have in our water? And I was like, I knew it was high, but they talked about it. 600 times the amount that's needed to clean water is in our water. Like, if you drink normal tap, it's not necessarily ideal for you.
Yeah.
Like, it's just crazy to me. Like, we have everything we need. We have the largest freshwater source in the world, and we just taint it by destroying it with chlorine. And then when it's warmer out, we add more chlorine because it's warm out.
Right.
Like, it's just, why?
And then people think that they can rely on their Brita filter that they haven't changed in 5 years to filter some of this stuff out, but that doesn't work either.
Exactly.
And the best Brita filter won't filter everything out.
No. And you need, like, water is supposed to have minerals.
Yeah.
So when you remove all of that, it's just not, I don't know. The whole thing is just wild to me. But that show, like, made you question a lot of different things.
Is that what brought, because you were asking me some questions, too, about our next batch of shirts. Is that kind of what brought out that idea? We won't get into specifics on what we're thinking, but we do have something in mind that kind of goes along with what you're saying for our donation. But that's kind of what brought that all out.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Because there's a lot of, like, research and studies behind it, but I think politically and, like, societal norms just kind of negate the progress that could be made here. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, it's like, it's really frustrating. So if you and I eventually get to a point where we're large enough to actually, like, do good, like, why not?
Yeah.
Like, I think that we could.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like, I think that there's just
Not
a lot
even
of different
selling
things.
out to Hollywood.
Right. But I think that there's just a lot of good things that we could do locally to help. Just to help.
For sure.
Really.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that's kind of where it started. You should watch it. It's a super good show.
It's an interesting topic.
And he's chiseled.
See, I don't know where this is coming from. Then.
Maybe another movie.
Maybe another, yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Like a I don't know, a new movie he's in, but no, he's still in good shape.
Good for him.
Yeah, dude.
See, while you're watching that, I'm watching Unsolved Mysteries over here.
Good show though.
Good show.
So you've just started watching that?
Yeah. I mean, it's on Netflix now, and I don't know how like recent these are, but they're obviously still Unsolved Mysteries, or else I wouldn't have put them out there. The first three started off obviously super depressing because most unsolved mysteries are like, this person was murdered and we still don't know who did it. Help us. And it's like, well, I don't know how much I can help, but if I see this dude that looks like every other American, maybe I'll call the police. But
True.
The fifth episode, I think it was all about UFOs. Have you seen this before?
I watched the OG episodes.
Okay.
And then typically what they did, if anything happened from the time that they first aired the episode, they had an update at the end. And the host, who I think since passed away, he'd always wear a trench coat. And,
Sketch.
Oh my God. Like, dude, me and my sister used to have nightmares from the opening theme song from Unsolved Mysteries, because we'd always watch it in the dark, and then like the theme would start, and I just look at my sister like, why is this a thing? And like, obviously we'd follow it up with Forensic Files, so we had no trauma growing up watching TV shows. But at the end of the episode, the host would come out, and there'd be like smoke, like dry ice smoke coming in the background, and then he would just appear with a trench coat, and then his hands would be in the pockets, and he'd go, update, and he'd give like an update of like what the latest is. Dude, it's a riot. So I don't know if you've ever seen Tourette's Guy on YouTube, but Tourette's Guy, he had an Unsolved Mysteries skit where he wore a trench coat.
Really?
And he screams update and then walks down the basement stairs. It's just a riot. But yeah, that's what that is.
So what are your thoughts on UFOs? Because this thing had, as I was watching this, yeah, really, there's one above my house right now.
I have literature for you to read.
But as I'm watching this, I still can't get behind it. They're talking about how they drove down this street and saw this big beam of light. And then this one dude's talking about how he was, quote, abducted. I read an article and he's like, I don't like to use the term abducted. It's like, what else would you call it then? You like gravitated up to the spaceship. Like, that's not a casual stroll. That's an abduction, bud. So he was talking about this process and how he was walking, and then as he was walking back home, he was still walking but not moving because he was elevated, and everyone around him was like looking at him, and then he just got this like exorcism pose as he's being brought up to the ship with his arms back behind him. And I'm like, this is some crazy acid he was on. There's no way that this is true. What are your thoughts around that?
Have you ever seen Expedition X on Discovery Channel? # not a sponsor. But Expedition X had a episode where they focused on UFOs and different UFO sightings, and they had they basically have one host who's a skeptic and then one host who like believes in a lot of different things based on both of their experience with like their professional field. But they had their own episode on UFOs, and they actually had some like decent findings of some crazy stuff that they've seen in the field. I think it's naive for someone to think that there's nothing like extraterrestrial all in the universe.
Yeah.
And then I think there's a fine line between, yeah, there's no doubt that something has to exist in the universe. It's too large of a space to not have another life form. And then the line of UFOs are here, man. Like,
Right.
Area 51s, they got them. Like, there's aliens walking around.
Yeah, let's storm it and get shot.
Yeah. So I think that I think the truth lies in the middle. I think that it's probably a mixture of both, and then over time things got exaggerated and lost in translation and everything else.
Because Tom DeLonge basically dedicated his whole life post Blink-182 to figuring this stuff out.
Did he get anywhere?
No, I don't think so. I mean, he's definitely gotten somewhere, but nothing concrete. But like you said, everything is in the middle. That goes for everything in life right now. Is
True.
You have your extremes, and the truth lies in the middle. You just got to figure it out. But no, I completely agree with you. I mean, I don't understand people that are like, you know what? There's so many planets, so many systems, and we're the only one that has life form. It's like, really, that's quite a coincidence.
Yeah. We have to be here from something. Other than the Lord.
But it's crazy to think about. I just saw a article that said that there's this huge Space Force war between the U.S., China, Russia, and one other country to get to Mars first.
Well, we have Elon, so
True.
we win.
Yeah, he's basically already there.
Yeah.
The dude's a genius, man.
He's a big dude. You know he's like 6'4"?
Yeah.
Big dude.
He's a beat. Like, I want to be his friend. He just seems such a down-to-earth guy considering what he, like, has.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You listen to the Joe Rogan podcast, and he's just so down to earth. It's like, what do you do? Like, what are you doing? You can do anything that you want, and you're just like, yeah, sure, I'll smoke weed for the first time.
Yeah.
Sweet.
That's why I love when Joe Rogan tries to explain Elon Musk to other people on his show. And he's like, I just can't believe that Elon Musk is someone that walks amongst us. Like, it makes no sense. The things that just float through his head,
Yeah.
like, no.
But then you get him naming his kid that, so I don't really know
True.
what to believe now.
True.
Like, that's not a South African name. That's a symboled name.
Yeah.
I mean, he's smarter than all of us, so maybe there's some deeper meaning behind that. But to me, it just looks like a math equation.
Did you see Usain Bolt's kid's name?
No.
Olympia Lightning Bolt is what he named his kid. Olympia Lightning Bolt.
That kid's going to get made fun of a lot.
Yeah.
But that's a dope, like, Olympia is a dope name.
What happens if your kid's not fast?
You train him to be fast. There's got to be, like, some of it. Okay, you're cut from the same cloth as Usain Bolt. You have the genetic capabilities of it. You just got to not eat pizza for your entire life like I do, and you'll pretty much be guaranteed to be fast.
I want to know the kid's 40 time.
What
And
is
if the
Usain's
kid-
40 time?
I don't know. We can look that up. I think he ran a 42.
Really?
Yeah, I think somebody called him out during this last year's combine or 2
Oh,
years
you're
ago.
right, you're
and then
right.
he ran a 40.
Usain's 40-yard dash time is 4.22 seconds. Isn't that the same as
Randy Moss and Bo Jackson and
no,
Ross,
John Ross, right?
John Ross, the Titans running back as well, Johnson.
Yeah, 4.22. So Usain Bolt has the same running time or 40 dash time as John Ross. That's sick.
Yeah, but dude, look at the
And then
size
also
difference.
Jonathan Taylor too, right? What was Jonathan Taylor? The guy that just was in this last dash or this last draft. Jonathan Taylor, 40 time.
I think he was 4.3 or
Oh,
4.
4.41. Oh, what a slow ass.
I know, seriously.
Jesus.
Why you even
Speed up, dude.
Yeah. Why you even at the combine? Have you ever ran?
4.22 though.
Have you ever ran a 40?
Yeah, dude, it took me like 4 minutes. No, I did run a 40 actually. So back when I was going for police jobs and everything like that, I tried to condition myself because I knew that I would have to do not a 40 yard, but some sort of mile and a half. But Ocean City, Maryland. Did you ever apply for that job?
No.
Because that was like a well-known job amongst criminal justice majors because that was something that had turnover every year. You weren't going to be a permanent structure there. It's a seasonal job. Ocean City, Maryland, I think went from like 13,000 people during the wintertime to like 1 million people during the summertime because it's such a tourist attraction.
Yeah.
But when I went there, they had such a different physical examination where you had to perform like this. It wasn't a 40-yard dash, but it was 160-yard like dash, I guess you would call it, but it was like 40, 40, 40, 40, and how fast you can do it.
Yeah, it was a shuttle run.
Yeah, that's what it's called. And then they also had you carry a 150-pound man, kind of like a fireman's test. That's what it looked like. So it was interesting the way that they did that. But when I was doing that, I timed myself, and I think it like my fastest, dude. I must have been like 6 something or 7 something. I'm not a fast person. Well, what was yours? Have you ever done yours?
Yeah, my fastest 40 was a 4.97.
Jesus Christ.
But then after high school into college, I was playing floor hockey, and there was no doubt I got faster.
Really?
Yeah, no doubt. Because I would play with kids that, like all the dudes that I played football with, we all played hockey after high school, and they're like, you basically have like safety speed compared to linebacker speed in high school. Wow. I was like, well, yeah, but I'm running way more. Because before, all I would do was lift weights. Right. And then after college, I started running a lot more because I moved. And then I didn't know anything. I didn't know what roads led to what. And I was too broke to afford gas. So I just became Forrest and ran everywhere. And then I started playing roller hockey without blades. It was
floor hockey.
It was floor hockey.
Yeah.
And I was exhausted. But then I was pretty quick. And then I got fat and got a full-time job, and then that was it. But my fastest timed 40 in high school was a 4.97, which was still slow.
To be fair, I could have been faster when I was younger. I took this 40 time when it had to have been 2013, so I was still pretty like late taking that 40 time. I never took a 40 time in high school because I didn't play sports in high school. I played hockey, but you don't need a 40 time for that. So I think probably my fastest I would have been in 5s, but there's no way that I would have ever made it to 4s. And then I go in and I Google like, all right, Vince Wilfork's 40 time and it's sub 5s. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm such a fat ass.
That's when you realize like
right?
how athletic linemen are.
Yeah, dude.
It's disgusting.
He's
how
like
fast
360 or something, and he runs a 4.9 or something 40 time.
Yeah, and their broad jump's like 9 feet.
Dude, it's insane.
Yeah, and you think about it like, oh yeah, I could do a broad jump that's like 9 feet, and then you compare it to something.
Yeah.
Like a basketball hoop laying down.
Right.
Like, go ahead, jump from one side to the other.
Yeah, or you're like, I can do this vertical jump thinking that I'm going to get, like, what's his face from the last combine, that freak of nature, DK Metcalf. I'm going to get his number, and I end up, like, looking like Phyllis Vance that can't even get off the ground during a company picture. That's, like, the difference that I'm seeing here, man. It was, my expectations were so much higher. But, yeah, I don't think I ever broke 5 seconds.
Remember when Brady Quinn got, like, 22 or 25 on the bench press?
Yeah.
And they're like, who is this dude? And he's just like, just crushing it. I'm like, this kid's going to be an animal. And then he just flopped.
Those are so fun to watch for me, the combines.
I live for watching the combine. Because that's when I actually realized, like, okay, who's who, where are we at? Because during the college season, I'm just so focused on Clemson that I just can't.
In the combine with DK Metcalf, as soon as he started doing his drills, I'm like, this dude's a freak. And people were saying all the time that he can't run the 3-cone drills or whatever. Yeah,
they were worried about his lateral speed, but they knew his dead end speed was ridiculous.
Yeah, so and this was my thought process behind it, and I seriously wish that Bills would have drafted him. I was so upset when they didn't. And I think that, especially because he went in like the 4th round or something, we could have got him in the 3rd round. I forgot who we took in the 3rd round that year. But with his insane speed, if you're running full speed and your adrenaline's going and you're in the combine, his full speed, he's not going to be able to make cuts very quickly because he's so freaking fast. But you train him to slow down on the cut routes and he'll be fine. And he's thriving in Seattle. I was so pissed that we didn't take him.
Yeah, but now we got Diggs.
Well, yeah, but can you imagine having Diggs, DK Metcalf as our outside receivers? Dude, we would be unstoppable, and Josh Allen would still overthrow him. Just kidding. I love Josh.
I mean, he might.
He might.
He was overthrowing John Brown by like 7 yards.
Yeah, and he's the number one power. Did you see that in
Yeah.
Madden 21?
Yeah, but his accuracy is like a 64.
We don't got to talk about that. He's the number one power in the Madden 21.
True. What we do need to talk about is how Trey White's in 89.
Dude, and Stephon Gilmore's in 99. Come on.
I know.
Really?
I know.
That pissed me off when I saw that. You got to give Trey a little bit more credit.
Little, way more credit. Trey White's a beast.
And even our safeties didn't get very well. I think Micah
know.
Hyde was an 85 and Jordan Poyer was like an 82.
It's fine. They don't respect the Bills.
It's okay. We'll show them.
Yep.
When we lose in the first round of playoffs, we'll show them.
Now we're going to get there. We got our boy Cox. He's commenting.
I love it. But he's also commenting on everybody else's stuff. I saw. So, like, I have friends. Obviously, we all have friends. Kind of. I don't really have friends. But on Instagram, I was scrolling through. And you know how it'll show, like, featured comments for people that follow you or people that talk to you? He comments on everybody's things, like hashtag Go Bills. And somebody responded to him, "You again?" I'm like, oh, boy. There was some tension there.
Goodness.
So, yeah, I mean, if he wants to be on an episode, he can come. But I don't think he will.
Maybe
Eventually, man.
Yeah, maybe he might. I don't
Never know. But this season, I'm stoked for. Do you think that we'll go 25% capacity in the stadiums and stuff?
For fans?
Sexy Slices would not having it. He said there were going to be no sports. I think that there might be. I think 25% capacity will be perfect.
They need to do something.
Yeah. Signing these big contracts with Mahomes getting $450 million.
Dude, I'm crushed if there's no football.
Yeah. Hockey's coming back in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's not the same.
My Bruins are going to take home, and there's going to be an asterisk next to them all the time.
What's up with all the hate about the Leafs? Saying they're going to lose like immediately?
Suck. They always lose. They face the Bruins in the first round of the playoffs every single year, and they take it to Game 7 and can never finish.
Got it.
Yeah. So every single year, the Bruins beat them, and the Leafs fans are all butthurt about it.
I stopped really watching and really caring about hockey once I hit high school.
Yeah.
So like 08, 09, because it was cool in middle school. It was a blast. Like I was actually like, I had the mental capacity to handle it all. And then somebody showed up and then they put variables like letters in my math equations and then everything went out the window. Literally everything. I'm like, you know what? This is why I'm just going to focus on sports and then try to keep up with who's on what team. And I'm just not, you know what? It's not worth it.
Well, during that time too, back in when we were in middle school, hockey took a turn. Like it used to be such a physical sport for you to watch and like watch two players just get into some brawl where the refs don't get in. But now it's become a game of speed and it's just not interesting anymore.
True.
The people who win the Stanley Cup are the West Coast teams that are super fast or Tampa Bay Lightning because they're super fast. Teams like Bruins, they make it far because they're physical, but they don't win. I mean, the last time Bruins won were 2012. We'll get far, but we won't win because we'll always get outshined by a team that's faster than us. It's just, that's how it happens. And hockey's going that route where people or teams are focusing more on speed, agility, in that realm rather than physical bruteness, which is taking away the fun from me for hockey. That's why I'm such a big Boston fan, is because I love Zdeno Chara 6'9", throwing down his gloves and beating somebody up that's 5'9". Like, that was fun for me to watch. I don't care to see Steven Stamkos shoot down the rink at 4.22 speed. Like, that's not fun for me. I don't care. I like the physicality behind it.
I agree. That's why the Flyers were so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
Because when the Flyers, the Bruins, and the Sabres all played, it was just an automatic brawl. And then Ottawa showed up, and they were like, well, we'll hang out with the cool kids.
Yeah.
And then they had that, who was that guy? Neil? Oh, my God, I hated him.
Yeah.
Hated him. And then he would show up in a town, and then everybody would just start fighting each other. And then we had Adam Mayer, and it was just a riot.
But then we let all of them go. So now, to be 100% honest, I do not watch the Sabres that much anymore.
Is Adam Mayer even in the league?
No, he's gone. I'm pretty sure.
That dude was such a bro.
No, he was sick.
Oh, my
But we let
God.
go of all of our enforcers. Like, as soon as that brawl, I remember this to this day, when that, I forgot, okay, great. So I just said I remember this to this day, and now I'm having a brain fart. But that one game where there was a huge hit, and it was like all this tension, and then Lindy Ruff was like, send out our enforcer line and just start wreaking havoc.
Against
and then it
Ottawa?
was, yeah, and then it was that
Yeah.
big brawl.
Yeah,
After that, we were just like, we're not physical anymore, and we pulled back.
Yeah, it was
Jack Eichel is our physical force on the team, and he shouldn't be the physical force on the team.
No.
It pisses me off every single time.
However, to be fair, Ovechkin is kind of a physical force, and also their shining
Sure.
star is the center. I mean,
Sure.
the dude's just an animal. But
and
again,
then Sidney Crosby's the physical. Never mind. Not
no,
going there.
not at all. That oh my god, I hate him. But yeah,
He's the worst.
The Ottawa brawl when they hit Chris Drury,
Yep.
and then it was basically an elbow to like the jaw, and then he was just laying there, and then Lindy Ruff is like, "That's it, like that's we're done." So he sent Andrew Peters, Adam Mayer, and then
Paul Gostad or something like that.
yeah, and then Goose. They were all on the ice, and then literally,
It was
like,
just a brawl.
dude, the ref was like, "All right, here's the puck drop," and then as soon as he dropped, everybody on the Sabres just dropped their gloves and stick, and then didn't even go for the face-off, and just grabbed the nearest guy. Adam Mayer was fighting two guys at the same time.
They got fined for that, right?
Oh my god, probably, dude. It was a brawl. It was an all-out brawl, and
Then Marty Biron just started trucking towards
Perron went
what's his
after
face?
Emery, and then
yeah.
Emery just started Emery whooped his ass.
Yeah, because he's a Golden Gloves
he was
guy.
a Golden Glove boxer. I mean, rest in peace. He ended up drowning.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was
Tough
just,
life.
dude, that brawl was just a riot. I was so juiced. Dude, I was sitting there screaming
Dude,
at
that
the
was-
TV.
But that's the fun of hockey.
Yeah.
Right now, you won't get that. Like, when was the last line brawl that you saw in hockey? Something that made the news. Right now, all the hockey Instagram pages that are there are like either fights that happened in the past or some stupid fight where somebody loses their balance on their skates and goes down.
Yeah.
That's not a fight anymore.
Yeah.
Like, if you go back to the days where Chara was destroying people, it's just crazy how, like, away from that hockey has gone, and it's losing my interest.
Yeah, it's kind of sad.
Mm-hmm.
But there's players that discuss the role of an enforcer, and it's absolutely exhausting. Like, it's a shitty job to have, but it's still, I don't know. There's a point to it.
Because-
That's why it existed.
Yeah, especially back in the Peters days.
Yeah.
He was not a good hockey player. He was Adam Sandler and Happy Gilmore. That's what he was. He couldn't skate with the puck. He couldn't do anything. He was literally there to go out on the ice and just whoop someone's ass.
Yeah.
And that has to be an exhausting job, not from like a skill standpoint, but when you step out on the ice, people know that you're there to cause havoc. So they're going to either get ready to fight you or they're going to skate far away from you. It has to be exhausting. Like, at least Rob Ray was decent.
Was he, though?
Kind of. Like, at least he was better than Peters. Peters, I just imagine, is Shrek on skates. Like, he has no agility. He's just skating down the ice, and he's just going to throw down whenever. Shrek didn't throw down, but whatever.
What about Chara?
See, Chara is a different story because I think that he actually has skill. He has the hardest slap shot in the league.
That's not skill, though.
Yes, it is.
No,
have you ever,
it's not.
Have you ever played hockey like that? Dude, it is skill to shoot the puck that hard.
Yeah, but
108.8 miles an hour.
The
that
dude's
is
a
skill.
Goliath, dude.
Right.
He's a mammoth.
And also, when you have a 14-foot hockey stick, it's kind of easy to get flexion on that.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
why golf clubs, the drivers for Worlds, it's limited to 48 inches.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing, but Chara's over there with a 56-inch stick, and he's just clubbing that thing made out of, like, I don't know, some friggin' northern Canada cherry wood. Like,
He's Slavic, so you know the sticks that come from there. But yeah, so I do think that he has skill, though, limited skill, because he's not a good skater. How can you be a good skater?
Well, here's the
At
thing.
that point, you have size 17,000 foot skates. You can't skate that well.
To be fair, we're discussing the skill level of an NHL player
Right.
with two jamokes that didn't even play collegiate hockey,
Yeah.
but it's fine.
Yeah.
People get it.
People understand.
I mean,
yeah.
granted, less than 1% make it to the show, so whatever.
But the thing with Chara and the way that he differentiates from like Peters or Rob Ray even is that the team was centered around Chara. Like, they made him the captain. He's a captain in the locker room too. He's a leader, which I think it makes him different because he had other things outside of just beating people up.
Yeah. Well, all right.
So we'll see, because the Stanley Cup's starting or the playoffs are starting in 2 weeks, and the Bruins are number 1 seed. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays
Is it
out.
because the season's on hold?
Yeah. Well,
All right.
yeah, it all stopped because of COVID, but now they're letting people back out with just no fans. So, and hockey players are like, sure, I'll do it. And then all the NFL players are like, nope, COVID, scared, I'm going to sit out.
I wonder how many NFL players would play.
Yeah, I don't know. We were talking about this because we started our fantasy football league. We had a meeting on Friday to pick draft order for fantasy football. I got fourth, no big deal. I'm pumped about it. It's fine. And we're talking about adding extra bench spots because the day of the game, if you get tested for COVID, you're out for 3 weeks. That's fucked up, especially if you are in fantasy football. Like, now you have to plan for 3 weeks out that you're not going to have this player.
Oh my God.
Like, what if you have Christian McCaffrey and the day of the game, he tests positive for COVID? He can't play for 3 weeks. It's a 14-day quarantine, which from that Sunday includes 3 Sundays. So you have to find a place to put him.
Dude, there's no way they're going to have...
It's going to be a tough year for fantasy sports.
No,
I'm telling you.
Sports in general. There's no way they...
I don't care about sports in general.
Oh
I have money on fantasy sports.
I don't know how they're going to logistically make that work.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
I want it to happen. It just doesn't make sense. Yeah. People don't watch NFL Sunday football for Christian McCaffrey's backup.
Right.
No one.
No.
Who is it? I don't even know who it is. You want me to sit there and
Cameron
watch...
Artis Payne, I think.
Yeah, you want me to watch some Payne Snuff trying to take a handoff from... I don't even know who their quarterback is anymore.
Kyle Allen, dude.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Josh Allen's brother. I mean, come on. Yeah. What are we going to do? This is a joke. And then if J.J. Watt's out, all of Houston's just done.
Yeah.
They're just going to
start...
Now
they got rid of D-Hops. They're basically shot.
Yeah, so they're just going to start smoking barbecue again because they're not going to watch. J.J. Watt's out. I mean, there's no point.
Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, if Josh Allen was out because of COVID, what would Buffalo do?
Cry, right? First of all.
Because even if he's healthy and he can play, he can't play.
Honestly, we'd probably send him chicken wings and tell him to get over it.
It's a very good point. Buffalo's ruthless when it comes to that. But yeah, I mean, that's such a good point.
A new virus?
Yeah. You've been to the Pink Bar downtown. You're immune.
Yeah, seriously. God.
All right, you want to get to rating this? So with this episode, we've just been babbling.
Yeah, what are we doing?
For 42 minutes straight.
Oh, my God.
We're like, what are we going to talk about today, Derek? And we just full speed ahead. So with this being a beer, obviously we don't have cocktail suggestions. We're not going into the history of this because we're going to be interviewing Resurgence. So that's kind of why we went with just like a free-flowing conversation for today.
How do we rate this?
Oh, the normal, man. What we have to do is we have to compare it to Breyer Brothers, and 4 Mile Brewing, which, to point out too, so from suggestion of my sister, Jill, you're out there. I know you're watching. Thank you very much for the suggestion. We have created a spreadsheet that is now a repository for all of our information. So all 42 episodes that we've done, from the first episode of One Foot Cock to the last episode of Jim Beam, we have it all documented, what our label branding, nose, initial taste, and ending notes are for each individual one. We also have there a price range for them. So like a price scale of $1 sign up to $5 signs. $1 sign is less than $40. That's what like Elijah Craig, Devil's River, the budget options are, less than $40. 2 stars are from $40 up to $55. 3 stars are $55 to $75. 4 stars, $75 to $100. And then 5 stars are anything above $100. So we have that included on the spreadsheet as well. And then we also added a cocktail tab to it. So you can see not only what we suggested during the actual episode for Jim Beam, what did we suggest for that? You can click on the hyperlink there and it'll take you to our Instagram to show you the recipe for it. So it's meant to be an all-encompassing spreadsheet for our consumers, our listeners to look at and see what we reviewed. And especially if you want to go and buy a bottle of what we've reviewed, you can look at what you can be expecting from a taste and nose standpoint, as well as what good cocktails go with it if you want to impress some company. So it's really going to be great. We're going to link it to our Instagram eventually. We just got to figure out how we want to do it logistically. And we hope that you guys all use it because it's something that we feel is going to grow our channel even more.
So, thank you, Autumn Leaf, for recommending that. That's a good time.
That's what he calls my sister because my sister has red hair. And it's more appealing than ginger.
Yeah, it's just nicer. It's just so cruel. Even Cleo agrees.
She does. So, yeah, let us know. Because even as we get closer to, like, these holidays, too. Birthdays, Father's Day just passed. Christmas is coming up. If you feel like, I don't know why Cleo's barking still. If you feel like buying a bottle for somebody, look at the spreadsheet. Figure out what they like. I have it sorted out by like bourbon, whiskey, Japanese whiskey, scotch, all that stuff. You can go check it out and get the rating. She's so, like, it's like what are those things called that, like,
I don't know what
are
they're
those things called?
There's a name for those things?
Yeah. What are they called?
I literally have no idea. Why don't you go check on it? Journey's not here.
Where did she go?
She's on a journey. I don't know what's going on. Maybe she wants nom noms?
Cleo, stop. If anybody wants a 5-year-old bull terrier, I will put her up for adoption. And you can check out her Instagram to see what she looks like. But yeah, so we really want this to be used by our consumers just to look at and see what we've done. We put a lot of effort into this, and we're kind of excited to show it off. Also, too, under the whiskey tab, I have all those hyperlinked. The first part of them are hyperlinks to the actual episodes because you and I didn't start officially doing Wednesday whiskey reviews until like episode 21 or 20 or something like that. So from episode 1 to episode 20 are hyperlinked to the actual episode itself. And then from episode 21 to 42 or whatever we are on now, it hyperlinks it to the Wednesday whiskey review. So if you guys are interested, it's going to be there for your consumption, and we hope you guys enjoy it.
Boom.
Also, too, today we had a conference, you and I, before we get to this whiskey rating, because we wanted to figure out, 1, what we got coming up from an interview standpoint, and 2, to get these shirts going. You want to tell people about these shirts?
Yeah, so there was a...
Mike's trying to say we're running low. Running real low. We're already out of 3 sizes. So.
Yeah, there was a logistical end hiccup where a lot of it boiled down to where and how to move them, because it's just us two and life has been insanely busy. So we had a pre-recording conference to sit down, get on the same page, go through our calendar, make sure that we're on the up and up, and then to pan out the shirts. So now that the shirts are panned out, they're going to arrive to you, all the pre-orders, and then most of the people that have ordered outside of pre-orders as well. So expect those in the coming days, which I'm very excited about. So there's right now no more double XLs and XLs. We are out. So we have a few large, a few small, and a few mediums left for you guys. Donations are going to Open Arms Rescue, who again, we are working through scheduling because of COVID and everything else. We're going to have them on for an episode and then basically go through everything that they do in Akron, which in short is essentially saving dogs' lives by introducing them to foster homes and then preventing them from being euthanized. So we're excited for that interview, and we're excited for all donations to go to them for this batch. And then from there, we already have an idea and the organization idea for the third batch, which is going to be a long sleeve in fall release. Slogan and logo is up in the air still, but the large part of the planning is done, which is exciting for the third release. Yeah. So we've had a lot of people ask for long sleeves just because it's in Buffalo and you know there's 4 seasons, and then there's also people in different states that would like long sleeves as well. So we are going to start introducing those, which I'm stoked for.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you've pre-ordered a shirt or you've notified us that you want a shirt, be on the lookout because either Mike and I will be messaging you to coordinate with that so we can get those shirts over to you ASAP as possible.
Yeah.
And let us know if you're interested in like a long sleeve or a sweatshirt. We're kind of up in the air. I think we want to go sweatshirt route.
Yeah, no
crew neck
hoodie.
sweatshirt. Yeah. So let us know if that's something that you're interested in. These are going to be super high quality. As people know that have bought our merch before, we're not going to skimp out on quality because if it's a bad quality, I'm not going to wear it.
Correct.
And I want this to be an everyday wearer. So let us know if you want one of those, and we can start getting pre-orders down so we can place an order in as summer comes to an end. It's super depressing to say.
Well, to be fair, it's going to be 90 this weekend.
True.
So we're still in it.
True. And if you also want one of those smalls, mediums, and larges, let us know, because we're, like Mike said, we're less than 15 total left. So they're going quick. And we want to get these off our plate so we can start looking at the next batch.
That's it.
Cool. All right, let's get into this beer review. So it's the Wednesday beer review right here.
Wednesday beer review. Established 2013, Resurgence Brewing Co. This is their IPA, which stands for India Pale Ale. Experience great beer is their slogan. This is 7.2% alcohol. They want us to drink it when fresh. And their IPA is brewed and dry hopped in a West Coast style. They use copious amounts of Amarillo, Simcoe, and Citra hops, lending a huge aroma of citrus and grapefruit. Some pine and resin notes mingle in the end with a hint of orange peel and spice. At 70 IBUs, the beer has a strong bitterness matched with a note of honey that softens the bite and leaves you wanting another sip. I can attest to all of that. I also had no idea that all of that was in there, but here we are. So, label and branding. They got like a buffalo head.
Which is
with
pretty sick.
With a crown?
Yeah.
Is that like a Polish falcon on top? Or is that just like a crown American
No,
eagle?
It looks like a Polish falcon, right?
What is that thing?
That's the...
It's probably not the Polish falcon.
No, it's the Freedom Eagle or whatever. Right? I could be making it up.
Things to ask the boys at Resurgence.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what made them choose this logo. Like, what is the... Because this looks like a buffalo head with horns.
Yeah.
Like there's some sort of devilish note to this.
Agreed. I agree.
Overall, this is... So their bottle obviously varies or their can varies based off of what beer you get from theirs. This IPA is a black bottle, or a black can. I'm sorry, I keep saying can. Based off our conversation with 4 Mile, which will be airing in the near future, the cans are the way to go.
Yeah.
If you're a local brewery and you're going with bottles, what are you doing?
Right.
I would love to pick their brain to figure out why they're doing that. Like Flying Bison. That'd be interesting because they don't really have the cans for their stuff. But for cans, and this was talked in the interview, there's just no light penetrating this. So it's easier to keep it a consistent taste over time. I like that. I'll give this an A. Nice style label branding. Give it an A.
I agree.
A plus, because I like the resurgence aspect of it, like the branding portion of it. Because they are resurging the Buffalo community. So I like that. A plus.
A plus.
Perfect. Nose. You can immediately tell that this is an IPA.
It's hoppy.
It has that hoppy nose to it. It doesn't, we'll get to this in the taste, but it doesn't have a hoppy taste to it.
No, it doesn't.
Which is good, because from IPA drinkers, some people are all like, give me the more hops. I like the hair on my chest. But some people also don't like that hoppiness when it comes to an IPA. This smells very hoppy, does not taste hoppy. So from a nose.
Also an A plus, because you get that bit of citrus too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it. A plus.
Boom. Initial taste. You get the tart of the grapefruit.
Yeah, it's slightly hop forward, but it's not an overpowering hop because it's cut by the grapefruit.
Yep.
And like this can is saying, I love that they put these descriptions on here because it makes you taste it, but I hate it because it makes it look like you and I don't know what we're talking about. We're just reading the label.
Yeah, but it brings it out though.
Yeah.
A lot of their beer is fruity though.
Yeah. Very fruity. It's very citrusy. It's acidic to some point too.
Yeah, in the initial taste.
And it goes down like you're gnawing on an evergreen tree to me. It's all pine.
I agree.
As it goes down.
I agree. Speaking of, I'll make this point after the review.
Okay. So initial taste, we're giving it a
plus.
A plus with the notes of citrus and like an herbal hop, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And grapefruit?
Yeah.
Okay. And then ending note. Are you writing this stuff down?
Yeah, I got it. Steel trap, baby.
All right, I'll write it down.
Honey.
What do we give the initial rate? A plus?
Everything's an A+ so far.
Well, that's why you got it. So citrus, grapefruit,
And pine.
herbal hops.
Herbal hops, pine. Ending note,
Ending
A+. You do get the honey, but not until it's like gone.
Yeah.
It's really just hoppy
The first
throughout
initial,
the entire ending note.
yeah, the first part of the ending note is like a little bit of hop, but mostly pine for me.
Yeah. Same.
So pine,
Same
and then it
geez.
goes down with like the honey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Final rating. Give me that countdown.
Remember, we're rating it off of beer, not whiskey.
I know.
I know. And we went with IPA for this one, too, because we will be doing an IPA when we review the 4 Mile. And we will be also doing we did the New England IPA when it came to Bry Brothers. So
Yeah.
we're trying to keep it consistent at least. So IPA. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. 94.
86.
Wow. Okay. 490. Right in the middle. Smack dab 90.
Remember, I'm not a massive beer guy.
Yeah, you're not a big IPA guy either.
No.
When it comes to beer, you're not a fan of IPAs.
No.
So,
But there's, to be fair and being blunt, there's not a lot of Resurgence beer that I'm like totally opposed to. And I've had a lot of their different beers. Like their Loganberry beer is a gift for my father-in-law every year.
yeah.
It's amazing. But yeah, I mean, it's the whole, I'm going to wear one of those brewery hats, you know, from like Dublin,
Yeah.
and then go to all the local breweries, and I'm like 33 and I read Hemingway and drink craft beer. Like that's just not who I am. So yeah, it is a good beer. I can drink it. Obviously I just crushed it this episode, but I'm not gonna, like, for Resurgence with all their options, there's other options that I would probably go to first.
Sure. Makes sense. I'm a big IPA guy. I like IPAs.
Yeah.
This, to me, only scored a 94. Or, I should say scored a 94, which to me is considered a high rating for this. It scored a high rating because of the fact that it's not super, super hoppy to the taste. When I'm drinking an IPA, the last thing that I want to do is smell a ton of hops and taste like I'm drinking a pine tree. Like, that's not what I want to do.
Right.
I don't want that type of hoppiness to it. So since this hop is dialed back when it comes to the initial taste, that's why I gave it more of a higher score, because I feel like I could actually enjoy this IPA as it relates to other IPAs. So there you go. That's our Wednesday beer review. We had to find out. I kind of like this trend that we're going on with these product reviews on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So this is our Wednesday beer review for Resurgence IPA. Make sure to take a look for the review or the interview that's coming out with Resurgence on Friday, and it'll be a good time.
I'm stoked.
Fun times, Michael.
Well, Derek, this has been episode 43 or 44?
43.
43. Crushing it. Mm-hmm. We will be back next week for more fantabulous content. And I'm now going to go home and enjoy my birthday presents from you.
There you go.
So thank you.
Killed it. Whoa, that burp came out of nowhere. Giving it a 92 now. No, I'm just kidding. 94 still. But, yep. So thank you very much, everybody, for watching. We are on Instagram at the Buffalo Happy Hour 12, Facebook at the Buffalo Happy Hour. Go give us a follow over there. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Every subscriber counts. So we've gained quite a bit in the past few days, to be honest.
Big facts.
So that's pretty sick. And we're just keep striving for that next milestone for us. Make sure you listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Radio Box, whatever the podcast platforms are now. Go listen to us over there, because that even helps us a ton as well. And look forward to next video from us, next episode, next interview, next anything, because we just keep pushing out content. So that's it, everybody. Thank you again for watching. Michael, it's been a pleasure.
Derek, I will see you soon.
All right, we're out.